passion of getting into it is immense. We all shout at each other and applaud at each other, but it's about communities. I'm not sounding kind of, but it is about getting the communities. Make sure the communities are happy and safe, and everybody else can fun. Because it's about fun. We're not working at the NHS saving lives. It's about having a little laugh.
I mean, I'm saving lives. I don't know about you.
You heard about like when people go, oh, it's changed my life. It's my life.
Oh no, I don't hear that. I just hear people being very upset. Well, Mike, what would you say is the best thing about this job?
Do you know what? When we launched this 3 years ago, I remember leaving on the 79th, this is going to happen again. We've done it. It's finished. Everyone's going to hate us tonight. And the number of emails I got the next day, it's amazing, we want to come back, we want to do this again, we need to do that. And I mean, I remember the silent disco going like turning up from wherever it was to turn up. So we had a silent disco, nothing there. And with what I do, I mean, the merch, who buys some merch, because I designed the merch myself. And it took from December to them being delivered to this to design the merch. And it's really quite, I just thought they were a merch shop that printed their logo on the front. Oh no, they actually made on the cuffs. How much do you want on the hood? There's a seam of the hood. And I'm not a clothing designer, I just not doing that. But it was fun to do it, and I hope it sells. But there is that kind of level of, we're organising stuff on this show from October last year. When did you launch Creators?
Creators Pass is open about 3 months before a show. So, but let's be real, it doesn't. My job does not start there. It's somebody forwards me emails all the time that need my attention, even when I'm not in the country.
Well, this is the thing, right? I know that this is everybody's got all of that into as well, and there's how many things outside. So it's our lives as well. Things get in the way, and then especially if you've got things going on, which out of nowhere they go, I was going to send an email, but really trying to text you something that's going on, things like that.
I think it is, I'm not just saying this because the man who pays me is sat next to me, but it's genuinely like one of the best jobs in the world, because to give creative opportunities to people who've never had them before, and to see so many people come back every year and really, really enjoy it means everything, even the tears, and there's a lot of them. Have you cried yet this weekend? I've cried 3 times this weekend.
I cried this weekend, but no,
Clive, have you cried this weekend?
because I'm nice
Several times.
It's
Yeah, do you know what? I think 4 years ago I knew nothing about anime. I still don't know anything about anime. But my last show was 47,000 people doing a Lego convention of all things at Excel, and once you get into a fan convention and you target communities, the Lego is mad. Probably mad with an anime, because these adult fans of Lego are so passionate about what they've done. I've done this kind of, I've done this, there's some bizarre stuff, but that's amazing. Not a clue what it is and how they've done it. But that to them, and if a little boy wants to make something and he says that's a spaceship, and you've got to put that on display with your spaceship. Not for me, but whatever. And I, as you can see, I don't cosplay.
I just thought you were cosplaying a middle-aged man.
Now I'm going to cry. How dare you with trainers like that?
Oh,
They're giving me a headache.
What about you, Bumble Creek?
Bum cream.
yeah, You're going to have to tell everybody about your cream now.
So I've got into moisturising in a later age, you know, and I went on a ferry and found this thing called Bum Bum Cream. You got that unreal smell. It's nice, isn't it?
Your face starts off.
The rest of me smells shit. But my face smells good.
What would you say is the thing about running events that is seriously underestimated by the public, apart from the cost?
The cost. So it's a bit like Fight Club. What goes on? It's like everyone thinks there's a hidden. Everyone says, "Oh, we can do it." I mean, I live in the middle of the countryside, and you'll see Melton and Mowbray are doing a Comic Con, and you go, "Wow, that's brave." Melton and Mowbray, especially about Mowbray, but and you go, you know, to them, wherever that venue is, and they may have an Ewok from a Star Wars movie that happens to be in Melton and Mowbray, but good for them. But the work and the stress is no different from doing a hotel show. We don't do hotel shows. I'm not going to go to shows that are in hotels. We go for scale, which is more content, which is more, because if the visitors are happy and they come and they buy from our vendors and our guests are happy, we're all happy. And I think that's what makes it again, that you have to have a fine balance between you have too many vendors and not enough people, or you actually need the two rising together. And I remember going to Japan Expo in Paris 2 years ago, and
did you take us?
No, I didn't take you, but not with those trainers on. And they had 300,000. You can't imagine. If you ever want to go to an anime convention, go to Japan Expo in Paris.
Hey, you mentioned Japan Expo here again. Let's go anywhere else.
And here again. But it's massive. They had a hall, 2 halls this size, with just queuing, and there was a Disney queue like 10 metres wide, and you shuffled to get in. But it's been there 25 years, and the French eat, sleep, anime. And I go, how did the French love anime? But it's all about when I was growing up, we listened to Hanna-Barbera and Scooby-Doo. The French didn't have American animation.
You said this last night.
I know, but
It didn't have colour TV either.
down the front. I've never heard this. I've got 3 new people I can tell my stories to.
Well, you know, I think the other thing that I found is, again, the cost was a huge shock, but it was also some of the things you have to pay for. So, for example, you know, like the guy we have to pay to make sure that people don't misuse the forklift truck. And I'm pretty sure he gets paid more than half of us do. And then there's a protocol that when we blow up the inflatable disco, the fireman has to be there. And it's like everything stops for the fireman to turn up. And it's all these things that go on.
And he charges you £500 to turn up.
I know. I'm starting to think we're in the long line of work. We'll just turn up and do that. But I definitely think there are some things that if you run an event well, and I am looking at the people in the front row here who run Genshin Prom and do an incredible job. It's these two run Genshin Prom. These are the people we give the tickets to. Yeah, they do an absolutely fantastic job, and to be able to do that on it's a much smaller scale than this, but they have absolutely everything locked down. And that's the thing, is if you run something smallish like that, and you get it right, there would be nothing from stopping you doing something like this. So if you're ever looking for a job, let us know, right? Like,
so they don't wear training clothes.
it's just, you need to be like, these trainers were my birthday present, so you're not allowed to be me.
Who gave you those?
My dad. Do you know what? I tell you what, my dad is coming on Sunday. You can meet my dad and you can have a conversation about my trainers.
They work really well for the so they go really, they match it well.
They go with my high vis. Look, it's not my fault my colleagues are rehearsals. But
Are they sponsored by a highlighter company?
no, we should get sponsored by a highlighter company, though that'd be quite good, wouldn't it? So I think that what would you say your favourite thing about it? Like, I know we talk about what's great about doing the show, but like if there was one standalone thing that's your absolute favourite thing about doing this show, what would it be? Like,
Sleeping at the end. No, I think the setup and the build-up, and actually when you put a plan together for something, what you think it's going to look like, or what you envisage it's going to look like, it's very difficult to put a floor plan in a hall and then think about the problems of, will people chip over the cars, will these benches work, this work, where's the, you think this, the things you can't judge are, last year we had a cinema with a projector and a stage and the sun at the time when it was showing its movie comes beaming down straight onto that screen. You can see Jack, and it's like you can't plan for that. There's no way that we could have thought, oh, that can't go there because the sun's going to be out. So it's just small things like that you have to just adapt and work on.
What do you think?
My favourite thing is actually just coming around and seeing everything so excited, like walking around and to help. It's something that makes it sort of like, thank you so much. Oh, you saved my life. Even if it's just really small. Like, you go to the bathroom, I just stand there and I saw okay, I don't know what I'm doing. Things like that, like a lot of times. But one of the other things I don't really understand is being able to listen to the amount of stories that you don't see that goes into it, the amount of hi Chris.
Hi Chris as well. No, Chris is
like, Chris, take my place. I'm dying of embarrassment.
Why?
It's so affectionate. I've just seen you don't have a call, don't lie to
You do not have a
me.
call on that phone.
What would you say is the most important thing you need to be able to run a show?
Christina,
Christina.
4th row back, black t-shirt.
You need a lot of chutzpah and a lot of energy. You need a lot of coffee. I like a lot of sleep beforehand. I just need to be able to, if somebody says something to you, okay, sure. Otherwise, I think you would be solely crying all the time.
I definitely think having a good team of people around you is super helpful. And you guys know this from problems. If you don't have the right people with you, it's really impossible to do. And there will be times that we yell at each other and upset each other and that kind of thing.
If you go on advice, you have to go to American convention. You have to see how the Americans do it. You have to see. Go to New York Comic Con, go to AnimeconUK, go to Chris will tell you which one to go to. The proper MegaCon in Orlando, which is just off the scale. I mean, we talk about guests at our show. We have 10. Well, we did have 12. We've got 10 now.
10
but
people.
Chris looks after 80 at MegaCon. So you think about the scale of what we're doing is like what we'd say, it's pocket money to Chris. But that's the whole. Once you've but you should go and see how the Americans do it. It's just slick and they do it in their sleep.
What about the power? Do you ever feel a rush of power in yourself? You actually can't do this. Somebody goes into testing that you're like.
I think Noah's the glass half full person of the team.
Maybe.
No, you're a space leader. Power? No.
You're always so positive.
You are.
Love you
I
for
am on stage and people can see me, but when I'm in my room, I'm crying over here.
And then there's me. So.
I've got to go.
Really? Okay, I'm going to let you go.
I'm going to go, why are you on that stage? And I'm going to go,
actually, Chris, I have to say, you've done a fantastic job, and I thought you were just going to knock up. So thank you for coming to. I can continue to tell the people what it's like. But
I'll just say one thing, which was when we did that show in London, which the show was good, but the venue was awful. Hold on. And everybody seemed to be called something May, Sarah May, whereas Jessie May, something. So I changed my name to Clive. Just to be part of the community.
so
that's where it comes from. I never knew where Clive May came from. Now I know. Oh, Clive
Thank you so much, Clive. I really appreciate it.
Hey, we have a lot more chemistry now.
We do.
We can actually go back and forth. I can ask you questions.
Go on, ask me questions. We've got a little bit of time, I think. Hold on.
Right then, so.
Thank you. Love you.
Thank you, Kai, for sorting all this out for us. So, I want to ask you, oh my god, you have to not only run the cosplay hospital, the creator stage, Sakura Ball, creators themselves, and I'm guessing there's more.
Yeah, there's many things where I will get an email of, Alex, you're busy. I don't have to be busy. What's in it for me? I'll give you a Starbucks. All right, what's up? What do you?
Yeah, exactly. They could just bribe us with anything.
There's a lot of handling things that obviously our main inbox gets overwhelmed. So there's often a lot of times that things are sent to me because apparently I'm a nice emailer.
Yes, well.
I mean, in the last 24 hours, I had someone say, have you got the link to the Sakura Ball? And it was just the link. There was no, hi, thanks for messaging. I was like, bang, done.
Oh yeah, you got the zhuzh emails when you're Italian, it's like, don't talk to me anymore. That's nice.
Yeah, it's, I love it. I wouldn't change it for the world.
What is your favourite thing about being the head of cosplay?
Oh, it's like being a mum. I genuinely feel like a mum.
Do you ever feel like a celebrity as well?
Sorry.
Everyone knows you.
Everyone knows me.
Everyone knows you.
It's definitely it's a good thing and a bad thing. Because people who think they were in the same postcode as you at one point in life that they know you. You definitely get that. But it is really nice, and it is super nice and I'm getting to the point now where I'm recognising my creators by their face, and I'm like, I know who you are, and they always look really scared, and I'm like, no, scared of you? I'm the best from the emails, and they're like, oh, hi, I stalked your Instagram account for work purposes.
Well, this is the thing though, being part of the convention, I really want a cigarette. What if somebody sees me? Does that mean anything? Like, and just things like that, you don't have to judge you, so you have to be careful about what you say, how you work. I also know that in the anime community, everybody knows each other. Yeah. So if you rub somebody up, one person, the wrong way, everybody else in that sort of thing. But with those, we can just sort of gloss over them and just go, hey, this happened.
So, I'm sure a lot of you here wonder how most of us actually get into doing this as a job, because a lot of you will be like, wait, how did this happen? So there are a few different ways. I think, Noah, why don't you tell people how you got involved?
Do you know what? I've never actually known how you got involved.
That's today.
So, AnimeconUK back in the drum sheds, I actually came here as an assistant for my friend who's an artist in the Artist Alley. I said I want to hang out with them, have anything to do that weekend. And they said, just come along, I don't know, maybe volunteer at this place. I volunteered, and Bex actually recommended me to be on this team, so Clive offered me a job. And here I am 2 years later, still doing it.
I literally said, who's the volunteer with the really cool hair? He's really helpful, we should keep him.
What about you then? Because you've been here before me. I don't know how you actually
I've been here since the beginning of time. So it was 2023, and I went to Megacon, and I was hanging out with some friends, went out for dinner with some of my friends who are voice artists, and met this person called Lauren. And Lauren was like, so I'm an artist and I've been asked to work at this con. How much do you know about cosplay? And I'm like, well, I'm an old lady and I can definitely help with that. So the first year I came in and I just did the cosplay hospital, and those of you who were here the very first year, they just remember me sitting there at my little table like, hey, I have safety pins, yay! And after I did that, we had a meeting afterwards or something. And I said, you know what, I think I can have more responsibility here. Why did I say this?
Oh no, literally, when everybody went, do you want to hang out and do the schedule? So, oh yeah, sure, that'd be great. No.
So that then turned into that I was going to start doing various cosplay things. And naturally that came with the creators, which is a whole separate ballgame. And I was very, very lucky that I was basically given free rein to decide how I wanted my creator class system to work. And I knew from the get-go that it couldn't be about numbers, both from numbers don't. I'll give you a deep dive here on numbers.
Because I'm not actually that voice. I don't really know about that creators. Give me the rundown.
So one of the things that happens with numbers is people can buy that number. And the other way to think of it is if somebody has 1 million followers, but 900,000 of them are not in the UK, that is no use to me. If you have 1,000 followers, but all of them are in the UK, and they are all going to buy a ticket because they're like, oh, nerdy things, that is what is valuable. The key to creators is about what you do before the show, which nobody ever really wants to hear. And I love seeing all the dances, but to be able to tell who you're going, it makes people buy tickets, all that kind of thing. And I always have like a quota of people where I deliberately pick people who have never had creator classes before. Because there are a lot of cons that will look to see if you've had one before, and therefore be like, oh, well, they've never had one, so we're not going to have one.
Oh yeah, that's one of the things because it knocks people out, especially like new creators and creators who are nervous and well, I've not got much, right?
Yeah.
It's being able to distribute it.
I definitely think what made it more difficult this year is for the first time this year we decided to cap how many creator classes we gave away.
How many we got?
So we capped it to 100 creators, which means that is less than half what we have done in previous years. And the reason we do that is because being a creator for you guys should feel special. It shouldn't just be, you got this because you've got numbers, off you go, see you later. You should feel like, oh cool, this con likes me. And that's where we try to do things where it's like, okay, so creators get access to this and all this kind of thing. And so although I don't run my system how any of the other cons run it, I don't think it's a bad thing.
Oh, definitely not. It seems a lot fairer.
It's and I genuinely love reading the applications. Usually because people have really silly names for their Instagram handles, and I'm like, what's that? That's great. And I also love it because we have a section that says anything else you'd like us to know, and people leave notes, and they leave notes saying, I love you guys, this is the best thing ever. My favourite one this year was them all saying, when are you going to do Manchester? And I had to sit there like...
Literally. I was like, I've got a little bit of knowledge, but you can't tell anybody because it might compromise things. And it's so hard to keep your mouth shut. So you're like, this is going to happen, because you can't say it just in case. Even though we know it's going to happen, it's going to happen. We're from the North lately. Where are you from?
I'm from London.
See?
I'm from
No,
London.
nothing about the North.
I loved the Drum Sheds venue because it was like 40 minutes from my house. It's great.
Oh,
It was cold, but it was great.
Oh. See, and now I just have to get one train. It's an hour. I could go home at night for 1 minute. I'm not going to use it. I'm going to have a drink.
Have a little cheeky drink. Cheeky pins.
Yeah,
cheeky pins.
Southern Comfort and lemonade. Apparently that's an old lady drink.
What?
Southern Comfort and lemonade.
Is it an old lady drink? Yeah. Okay, it's an old lady drink. Sorry, no, you're an old lady now.
Alright, okay. That's fine.
So-
I'm happy being an old Floridian lady.
So we've got about 5 minutes left. So I will use this opportunity to open the floor to questions. Hi, would you be alright to go? I can't give you a microphone necessarily. Well, you can have one if you want, but there might be some people who are...
Bring it there.
Just ask them and shout it.
Yeah, ask them a shout.
Sorry, I didn't think this one through. Sorry, guys. Right, please raise your hand if you have a question for the team.
Any questions for the convention team?
That's fine. I think that works. That's fine. That's easy for us. But yeah.
Keep doing what you're doing, basically.
Sorry.
Keep doing what you're doing. You're doing a brilliant job. I know how much effort you put into this, and it's very, very stressful. And the fact that I took 2 creator passes this morning, now I understand why it's
Your fine. You're fine. It is not your fault. You were given the wrong instructions.
That's the problem with organising conventions. There are so many people you have to make sure things are okay with, but when you check with one person, two other people say no, and then another person says actually yes, you go, who am I listening to?
Run away to another room and wait
And
for
cry.
someone to ask.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, we can just deal out with the fallout as it happens. That's what we can do.
Yeah.
That's the best. And then, as Chris always says, it's just the year. Even though it's the biggest event of the year for us.
Yeah, there's no need to cry about it. I haven't been crying at all.
Wink. Neither have I. Only once today.
But thank you so much for coming to listen to us and obviously to live as well. I can't believe that actually worked. I didn't think it was going to turn up.
I'm glad that it happened.
I think it's really bad because he upset me earlier, so I bribed him.
Deserved.
Our next panel is me, anyway, if you want to stick around talking about cosplay back in the day. Otherwise, if you do have any other questions about running a con, please do feel free to talk to one of us. Just preferably not first thing in the morning when we're trying to scan tickets. So,
Please.
thank you, everyone.
Have a good con, guys. Thank you so much.
We're going to shuffle into the